Hello, everyone. I hope you are all well. My name is Renato, and now we will start the episode number 9, I believe, for this webinar series. So I'm really glad to be here, and today the main focus will be we will have a conversation about the engineering process in Shedmate, and some improvements that we have done recently. So just to let you know again that this webinar live, the objective is to short the distance between our team and you, our user. And yeah, this is made by Shedmate users, but if you is someone who is interested in the software, you can stay with us and leave your message, and you will have an idea of what we can offer for you and for your business. Okay, so just uh, just to contextualize here a little bit before we talk to Thiago, that's our guest today. Just to summarize that over the past few months, we have expanded our engineering coverage, increased the range of supported shed configurations, and improved how engineer works alongside with estimating and coding. So today we will divide this section in three. So we will talk a little bit about how to request engineering in Shedmate, what are the benefits of our certification that you can do this through Shedmate as well, and as I said, to comment about some recent improvements that we had. Okay, so today with me is Tiago. Hi, Tiago. How are you
Hello.
doing?
How you doing?
Thanks
Good.
for
Good.
being here today. So just to present, Thiago is our CTO, and I believe that he is the best person to talk about engineering because he is directly involved with the coding and with the improvements that we have made so far in Shadowmate. So thanks, Thiago, for your time. I know that you are a really busy guy and you took a time to be here with us. So yeah, I believe that we can start. If you have any comment, you can just go. And if you don't have, I believe that we can start with how to request engineering, and do you can make your comments if you think that are really important to our customers. So,
Definitely. Thanks for having me here. I'm really glad to participate on those meetings because or in these live streams because this is the way for us to shorten this distance, as you said, from us to our customers. So if you're a customer, if you're a prospect, or if you're just interested on Shedmate, just please drop your comments below. Let's talk about Shedmate and let's talk about engineering today.
nice, nice. So
Alrighty.
yep, let's start.
Okay, can I share my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Feel free.
do you? All right, so you're gonna pick it up on your end there if I
Yeah,
share it.
yeah.
Cool,
Got you.
cool. So I'm just sharing now. I'm not sure if you guys are receiving there on your end.
Yep,
Is that all good? Can you see my screen?
yep. It's all good.
Very, very good. So in this one right here, let me just increase the size of this font here a little bit so people, watching on the phones and everything can see that clearly. Now, here in Shedmate, this is like a very simple shed that we created just now. So it's a blank shed. And I wanted to start from scratch here because I want to walk you guys through the whole process of, how you create your first shed or how you open your first shed, initialize engineering, because a lot of those things changed here in Shedmate because, of course, beforehand, we had a system that was already working, but we tried to improve as we go. So in the last few months, we've been actively working on a readjustment on the engineering system to not only have more capabilities, more sheds that are now available, and also to increase the experience, like increase the user experience or improve the user experience in our platform. So I just created a new shed right here. So it's all blank, and I'll click on that shed to edit it. So just click on that big image there. And here we have a few options already in place that we can choose from. So Renato did some homework beforehand, and we prepared this company here, this specific environment, so we can, start with some of these sheds here that are available in our system. So you can just pick one up from start. So those are the typical sheds that you're going to see, of your business. Your customers are going to request those types of sheds, and this is we've been working on to improve the capability of our system, right? So there's the first one here. It's a garaport. So garaports are a very interesting type of shed because they have like a blocking area here from the wind and a non-blocking area here for the wind. And Shedmate can compute all of that, right? But right now we don't because we haven't initialized engineering yet. We need to tell Shedmate, hey, we need to build this shed, but we also need to build this shed in a specific location, right? So location is very important, right? Location is one of the most important things because, of course, the wind plays a big role or the most important role when it comes to designing a shed, right? So if you're building in downtown Melbourne is completely different to some area on the coastline of Queensland, for instance, right? So in this case right here, we haven't told Shedmate anything yet. We just started from scratch. So I need to click on this engineering here, this big engineering button on your left-hand corner here of your screen. And then Shedmate asks you, hey, we're just initializing things here. Do you want to pre-save your shed so we can proceed? Yes, please. Let's do it. Right. So in here, we need to activate the engineering. And activating the engineering means we need to specify the wind conditions, right? In here, Shedmate also asked me if I want to auto-apply engineering. In other words, if I change my shed around, like the bay sizes or the height of the shed and things like that, my engineering will compute in the background and automatically apply the new member sizes and the design to this new shed that I'm building or this new configuration that I did. And yes, please, let's do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit yes. And here, Shedmate also has the ability to pre-compute, auto-compute the properties of that specific wind conditions automatically. So I don't need to worry about, filling in, the TEC levels, the IL levels, all these technical stuff. It's automatically filled up for me, right? So I'll just choose that option. It's easier, right? So I'll just do that. And then what it's asking is here where you're building this shed, right? So of course, building a shed in downtown Melbourne is different than building on coastline Victoria or coastline any place, right? The wind conditions are different. So here, giving the address, Shedmate can give me the wind conditions, right? So we are here in Shedmate. We are based. Our HQ is in a small place called Mount Gambier, which is the second, believe it or not, the second biggest city or town in South Australia, and it's only 35,000 people live here. So yeah, so I'll use that as a reference, right? So 1 James Street is located in CBD area in Mount Gambier, right? So not London, no, Mount Gambier. Okay. Now, Shedmate is very happy because it could, using that information, it's auto filled in everything that I need. For instance, the local code numbers and all these things. So all this is already done for me, and I just need to click Save Address. Now it's running the wind simulations and the wind analysis, right? And this is really cool because all this information is just pre-filled in for me automatically, right? So just by typing in the address, I've got everything that I need to get things set up, right? And I also can, if I want to, enable pricing for this particular shed. So I'll just do that for now and hit OK. Cool. So now Shedmate told me, hey, this is the information that you got here. You've got the terrain category as 3. You got the um, region of the wind A5. It's pre-selected here where the location of this is, and also the council information automatically. So, of course, when you go to certify this shed, you're going to automatically need to or you need to specify on your reports where the console is and how to send the message to that console, or just send that report directly to that console. So that information is all automatically pre-filled here in Shedmate. All right. So if I hit OK in here, now Shedmate can predetermine the conditions of the shed for me. Okay. So this is the initial setup, right? I've got already a few other things in here to showcase. So I'm going to switch my screen here to another type of shed. And this is also automatically set up for me. So with that process, you initialize the engineering. And now I'm going to show you how you actually make changes to your engineering. Okay. So when you set up the engineering, you're going to see later, the first one that I clicked, I had like a wizard that I need to fill in the basic information, but this one is already pre-filled. So this is what I get when I have all that information done, as I showed you on the first step. Then you can see here that my shed is conforming to my engineering details. Okay. So if I enable engineering visibility here, you're going to see that everything is green and the shed is optimized for engineering. That means that if I were to send that report right here, the compliance report requests, right, our team is going to be able to certify that shed for you, or in other words, have these stamped plans with the engineering signature for you to go through the council permits and all these things in the same day, or in maximum 48 hours business, 2 days, 2-day business time. Okay. So that's the basic steps for activating the engineering and seeing the engineering results on your screen. Okay. But that's not all, of course, right? So when I'm just doing the first design, of course, my customer will say, hey, what if I change that roll door, that position of that roller door? Or what if I change my baggy sizes to be something different? And Shedmate can automatically pre-calculate all that information as I make changes to my shed, right? So for instance, in here, you can click on bay and sizes on top of your contextual menu in there. And in here, right now, the maximum allowed bay size is 3.5 meters, right? And if you can see in here, Shedmate is actually using 3 meters bay lengths because, of course, the number divided here matches perfectly with 3 meters. So if I want to, I can see in here, hey, what if I allowed it to go to 4 meters? Will that make any difference? It will. And you can see the back and forth result and the engineering automatically applying that information directly to my shed right now, because my frames changes, my frame sizes changes, and all these footings and all these things automatically are applied because I had that configuration, right? The auto apply engineering set up. All right, cool. So right here, right now, you can see that if I undo here, watch what happens here on my pricing. Okay, so if I change 3.5 or 3 meter base, I've got less than 40 grand here. And if I do a redo, or in other words, I reapply those changes with 4 meter base sizes, and now, of course, it's going to change accordingly. You're going to see here that the price jumped 1 grand. So you can automatically answer your question or questions from your customers saying, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if I change this? What if I change that? Right? And that automatically also applies if you change the size or the height of the shed as well. So for instance, the customer could say, hey, actually, I want to, park my caravan there. So I need to at least 4 meters, clear space on the height, right? So if I uh, change that to 4 meters, now you're gonna see that my shed automatically changes as well. So you can, you know, do back and forth with your customer and say, hey, this is gonna cost 40 grand, this is gonna cost 35 grand. And as you make changes, you can also use this tool as a mechanism to reduce the price of your shed according to your customer expectations or your customer needs and all these things. So what if questions, 6 meter wide shed, what if 10-meter wide shed, what if we rotate it around, what if we do something different? So all of these things are automatically answered for you by Shedmate using this tool.
Cool. And it's really good, as you said, in the quotation stage, like
Hmm.
the client can call you and say, oh, I want to spend just 40,000, and this is my limit, and you can do a lot of modifications in your shed, and to check if the price will be the same or not. So it's really cool, this
Exactly.
quoting.
Ex-
Yeah.
Exactly. The cool thing about this, Renato, is that matches, the instant quality system that we have on the background, running all these calculations for, the prices of every member sizes and everything. It matches directly with the engineering calculations. Engineering is going to make sure that your design is correct, and the quoting system will apply all the prices necessary on top of those changes, right? And a lot of these customers, a lot of conversations that I'm having with customers, some of these customers are changing now from top hats to Zs, or Zs to top hats, or even C purlins and girts. And those things can be tricky because, of course, you're going to have more work on site, or more work on the workshop, or more work on other places if you change those things around. People use Zs or Cs for girts and purlins for one reason, and people also use top hats for other reasons. So in Shedmate, you have all that flexibility on your fingertips as well, because you can come in here and just say, Shedmate, actually, can we change this guy here to be a Z, for instance? Let me say a Z100 here. And if I pick Z, Shedmate automatically knows that I want to design for a Z, and will automatically pick that up and change the frames to be the exact Z that I need. So if I have like a huge bay length and I use Z100, if I have the auto engineering applied, Shedmate's going to automatically change that to 150 15 or 150 12, to conform to that need. But it knows that you want to use Zs, so it's very smart on that regard. So if I change in here right now, you're going to see that there's a few things that Shedmate said, hey, I actually need you to fix a few things, because there's a few adjustments here that you need to do. So if I fix that right in here, you're going to see that now things are getting green again, right? And I can just flip this, purlins there, just so I can see the right construction method there. And look at this. That's a beautiful Z shed being designed. And let's see what Shedmate did. So 115. It's a small gap, a small bay length here. So a Z100 will work, no problem at all. Okay.
Yeah, and the
And
price
in
changes
here,
as well, so you can
yes, there you
check
go.
which
There you
one
go.
will be more expensive, or not.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some builders or some erectors, they actually prefer to use top hats. Some prefer to use Zs. So even, you know, of course, it's all depending on your end customer that will
Yeah.
want one or another. But you've got some advantages of using Zs or top hats, or even C purlins and girts in some cases. So this is automatically done for you. And also, Shedmate has some non fast tracking issues in here as well that I can enable or disable. So in this case right here, for instance, the purlins and girts should be enabled, the bridgings for those, because using Zs, of course, I need to enable bridgings as well. And if I just click on that button right here and proceed, then Shedmate's gonna automatically apply those bridgings for me as well. And
Cool.
yeah, the price went up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's just all consequences of doing those things, right? But if you want to, you can also do a few things in here and try to reduce that price. Let's say adjust this size in here. I can limit some of these things, right? So there's a lot of things in here that I can change, and Shedmate's going to automatically apply those changes for me. So let's see if with the new configurations, if I can go up to 10 meters wide, just a test in here. So that's
Okay.
a C219 on the portals. Let's see what happens if I change that to something different. No. So look
Okay.
at that. By changing the width of the shed, the price went up quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because I needed to jump from a C200 to a C250, right? Still the 19 thickness, but I needed to change that. So it's good to have all these tools on your fingertips tips, and you don't need to wait for this to load in other environments that you could use. You would wait a lot for this to load, and the pricing to be calculated again. Shedmate does that all automatically, and it's all streamlined. So as you make changes, the shed and the pricing is going to change automatically for you, and you don't have any waiting times.
Yeah, and like we didn't open any spreadsheet, and
Mm.
we didn't had to change anything like manually, so this is an automatic price calculation. So this is really good.
Correct, correct. No changes on the on any Excel spreadsheet. I don't need to open Excel and guess what is going on. No, I just make changes directly in here, and the system will automatically pick those changes up and apply everything for me. So it is for Shedmate. It is a bit of a setting up process, because all of these things in here, it will depend on your company needs, your company configurations, right? So when you onboarding in Shedmate, we automatically send you like a comprehensive list of things that you need to pick up and set up on the system. For instance, how you do the transportation for your roller doors, or which supplier for roller doors you use, or which suppliers for PA doors you use. So all these things will help us configure the system exactly for you. And just using that opportunity here, there was a specific quote from a customer that I really really like to say. you know in other systems, I build their sheds. In Shedmate, I build my shed, my own shed, the way that I like to build sheds, which is really nice. Like this is, I think it is the best compliment that I ever had in Shedmate without saying the actual compliment, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Just this, comment throw out there, just for me, it's exactly what we do here in Shedmate, and in the system to make sure that you build your sheds the way you like to build them,
yeah. Perfect,
right?
perfect.
And this system here, yeah, this system here, shows that off perfectly. You can change things around and make sure that it conforms to your needs, your customer needs as well.
Yeah, really good. Just a comment that you talked about that
Hmm.
we didn't have to open any software. Like me as an engineer, I have already used some softwares that
Hmm.
if like usually it will need a lot of memory in your computer. It will, if you don't have a good machine, it will be really slow and will take a lot of time to open the project and to do the modification beside this. And yeah, like you just show how to do this like in some seconds using your own computer, your own browser. That this is really good in Shadmate as well. That when I faced this ability that Shadmate has, it was really 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 impressive for me.
Yeah, yeah. We got a lot of comments about how how did I put it? Intensive, resource intensive some of these systems are, and they should be because they are engineering
Yeah,
systems. Engineering systems are very, very resource intensive, so your computer will be brought to its needs when you're trying to do something very complex. But the thing is, Shedmate handles all of that automatically for you in the background, so you don't need to worry about that, right? So when you're designing a shed in Shedmate here, we've done all the heavy lifting for you in the background, and the system will automatically pick that the best use case for your job and make sure that it's conforming to all these standards, and all the safety checks are ran, and all these things are there for you, so you don't need to worry about those things. And you can run this on your phone. You
yeah,
can be on like a meeting or something like that. Your computer is not there. You just pull up your phone and just show sheds and show the engineering system working, and get them a quote or anything like that. Email them a quote. No problem at all.
yeah. And it's really good when like the owner or the employees are really busy. Sometimes they need
Hmm.
to travel, and
Yep.
you can just grab your laptop and you can access Shedmate, as I said, in any machine. I believe that it's not really it don't need to have a really good computer, a really good configuration. So you
Yep.
can travel, you can go in a vacation and still check the codes, still check the contracts that you are sending to the clients that your team are sending. So
Hmm.
as this is in the cloud, or everyone that you want to have access will have access. So this is really it's a really powerful weapon that you can use.
Yes. And you don't need to install anything as well. That's another important thing. So you don't need to install a specific software or anything like that. It's just open up your browser, log in, and access Shedmate to with any device anywhere in the world. And that's a very important thing as well, because you can do that quickly. You don't need to um, mess with configurations on all these things. So it's a very powerful, as you said, a very powerful weapon on
Yeah,
your arsenal there. Right.
yeah,
Very good, very good. So, just expanding the conversation a little bit more, we have here a enclosed shed, right? But of course, this is not the reality of all the times. So sometimes you're gonna have opening bays, or we are expanding more and more types of sheds that we are doing here. Recently, we've done a lot of work on the what we call drive-through sheds, which are the front and the back walls are opened, or hay sheds. We improved our ability to do hay sheds, or we call hay sheds here, but it's just an
yeah,
internal name that we use. But the idea is you got one of these side walls open here, all right?
yeah,
And all these things, they pose a really big challenge for the wind. And there is a lot of conversations about that, because the thing is, some of what we see there is just they calculate that with a wrong profile,
yeah,
or they do like an enclosed shed and just do a few tricks there to try and to adapt it to a partially open sheds. We don't do that in Shedmate. What we do here is we actually run analysis based on the geometry of that specific shed. So we make sure that your shed is secure, but it's also very cost effective. All right. So when you change in here for, let's say, a partially open shed, just like this one right here. So I'm just switching, to a new browser
hmm,
window in here. And it's really, quick to, do alterations of in 3 or 4 sheds at a time. And Shedmate supports that no problem. Again, very lightweight, very simple to switch tabs and all these things. So in here, I've got a shed that's got a opening on the front in there. You could call this a garport. Some people call that garports, but there's all sorts of configurations here that you can use. So in this case right here, there's a specific region here of the shed that's going to pick up this, turbulent wind that comes from that part right here, right? And if you make changes to this, for instance, let me enable engineering visibility again.
Okay.
Okay, so I can see in here that even though the shed is pretty big, we've got a very lightweight profile in there. Okay.
Okay.
And that's very interesting because it is a shed that gets a lot of wind, but in this case, Shedmate verifies it that the wind is not actually posing a big threat specifically for that configuration. And this is what we do all in the background to make sure that your sheds are safe and also economical. And in this particular example in here, we also have an ability to enable knee bracings as well in here. So you can enable knee bracings, and the shed will automatically pick that up and install the knee bracings there for you. Right. And that goes all the way from here, to, quotation phase to the fabrication phase as well. Right. So all these knee bracings or all these things are going to be installed, or we're going to provide all the information for you to install those knee bracings correctly as well. So in this case right here, it's a different case scenario because now Shedmate has specified there's multiple options for you to resolve this shed with engineering. And that's very cool because sometimes you want a specific design, you don't want knee bracings, you
Yeah.
do want knee bracings, you want collar ties or you don't want collar ties. So all these things are handled here automatically for you as well. Right. So the system will automatically pick that up based on your decisions here. Again, we're building the sheds the way you want to be built.
I
All
see.
right. And the other configuration that I want to show you guys here is a what we call internally here a hay shed.
Yeah.
People have different definitions for those, but rotating around here just to show exactly what I meant. Oh, there's a window there that I need to delete. Let me delete that window, and you can see in here that this shed is a open side shed, right?
Yeah.
And it's mostly the same configuration that we had previously on the other sheds, but with that side wall deleted, right? So in this case right here, we saw that the frames will automatically make difference as well. So if I go in here in visibility, that's a much more beefy shed, and they should be because they have all this open section in here, right? That needs to be designed accordingly. So as you can see, I can make changes to my design, and the system will automatically pick those changes up and apply those engineerings for me as well. So yeah, it's a very dynamic system and a very easy to use system as well. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good because like we show like four types of sheds,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a comment like not even case that everything will be green, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
we still have our support, right? So we can
Correct.
calculate this to you as well and give you the results if the computation in Shedmate don't match what you want, So, hey
Yes.
Renato, hey Thiago, can you try to optimize this shed? Because I think that we can reduce a little bit the rafters and so on. So it's not a zero or one answer. You can
Yes.
communicate with us and we will be assisting you in the better way we can. Okay. So is this a
Exactly.
comment?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. Connection dropped out a little bit. I was talking
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, it's basically this, just to let the that it's not every case that will be 100%, but we are here to help. And just another comment that I took a note here that's about consul. We know that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes consul is a lot of headache. It causes a lot of
Yeah.
headaches, a lot of back and forth. but we have already delivered a lot of engineerings, and hardly ever it has a concern about the council. So we use it to prepare a documentation that will pass
Mhm.
smoothly through console as well. So just to share this as well, because I know that this can be a really painful uh, process, but Shedmate
Correct.
we will not do all the things to you, but we will deliver everything that you need to console as well.
Yeah. So everything that is related to engineering, we say that we are really proud of having these cartouches
Yeah.
to prove that we have done a lot of work in the past to make sure our engineering system outputs information, enough information for you to go through console all across Australia, right? So um, we have all the state forms ready to go. We talked to we spoke with our engineers on how to make sure that we reduce console follow up questions and all these things by providing a lot of that information upfront, right? So we went through consoles all across the country, and we make sure that we put information as they need to read that information, right? So we all the costs and all these things are covered in Shedmate. So when you run a shed or activate a shed, that first step that we've done during the first minutes of this live was exactly to configure the console address, to configure the site address, and then Shedmate automatically picks the console address for you from there. And with that information, we know, hey, this is a specific council in South Australia, for instance,
Yeah.
and they need that information, right? Or they are from Queensland, or they're from New South Wales, and we specify the specific forms and the information that you need to get that shed approved. So we're really proud to make sure that we have all these set up, and the system will automatically handle all these complexity for you.
Yeah, yeah, nice. And Tiago, just I will ask you to show how to request. Like we have
Mm-hmm.
two buttons here, and yeah, you can comment about them.
Mm-hmm. So the first, well, the big blue button here
Yeah.
is the one that you were looking for, right?
Okay.
Request engineering compliance reports. So this is exactly what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So when you're doing this changes on your shed in here, making alterations to the bay lengths and all these things, we charge you zero, right? So this is not charged at all. You can make any alterations you want, and you're gonna see the shed being green and not green. And we saw in this live as well, there's some things that needs to be fixed. So there's gonna be a fix button, a red fix button on the screen there, just so the system will automatically apply those changes for you. Now when you've got everything green and your customer says, hey, let's go ahead with that design, then you have this big blue button here that you can click to say, hey, I'm happy with that design. I made all the alterations that I want. My customer is happy with that design, and we're going to proceed. Right. So when you click on that button, what do you say? You talking, to Shedmate is, hey, I want to go ahead and I want the certifications for this specific shed. Right. So in here, we're gonna have like a walk you through the process here of what we are going to do and what we are certifying. Okay.
Okay.
So in this case, everything is green and everything is okay. As you can see here, all the checks that needs to be done for this shed to be safely engineered, it's done. So Shedmate is happy, and I can proceed. So I'm just gonna hit next in here, and in here I got a few options as well as you're mentioning. I'm happy with that design or not happy with that design. I want to speak with an engineer, or all these things are available here directly on this menu. So in this case, everything is green. I'm happy with the price. So I'm just going to have click on this button here. I'm happy with the results and I want to certify this job. If I click on that button right here, it's requesting the engineering from our system, and you're going to receive an email right away saying, hey, our team is onto it. So maximum 48 hours, that design here is going to be stamped and ready on your email, and you're ready to go and ready to
Yeah.
you know to approve that design. And hopefully in a few days you're going to have the council saying, hey, all good, all permits are done.
Yeah. And you just click
That's
there
the
and
ideal
I
scenario.
yeah, and I receive the notification that someone requested. So it's not just me that
Beautiful.
will see this notification, so our team will check this so it will not be annotated. And as you
Yep.
said, in 2 days, we will deliver everything to you, or less than. Sometimes we can speed up a little bit and deliver, and
Yeah.
yeah, sooner.
the thing is the thing is Shedmate is very concerned, or um concerned with your designs as well. We are not just, click a button and then automatically, send it off and everything, because this is very important, right?
Yeah.
Safety is important, and all these things are very important. So we're going to make sure that, like, we're going to assess your specific design and make sure that everything is conforming to the details. So the system does that automatically from the start. But we also have specialized personnel in our team
Yeah.
to assess all the designs and making sure that everything is conforming to what you need to actually go forward with that design. And again, that reduces a lot of problems with consoles or with private certifiers, or all these things that they need all that information, and they, of course, they will also assess for the safety and the constructability of that design. So we're here to help you go through that journey.
Yeah, yeah, really cool. So yeah, our team is prepared to deal with your requests. And if you have
Mm,
if we here have any questions, we will contact you directly so we can move on with the certification. Okay.
yes, definitely.
Yeah, so it's all good. Do you have any comments, Thiago? I believe that we covered uh, a lot of things today, and we could talk about specifically about engineering. So yeah, so if you have any questions, you can send us a message. We also, if you want to know more about Shedmate and about the pricing and about how are which are our subscription plans, you can send a message to sales@shedmate.com.au. And if you have any questions, you can send to support@shedmate.com.au. So yeah, I believe that we covered everything. Do you have any new comment?
Well, not my end. I think we covered everything that I wanted to cover today, and
Perfect.
I hope, yeah. And if again, as you said, if any customers or any prospects are have any questions or anything like that, we are here to help.
Yeah, yeah. So thanks everyone. If you are watching us or if you will just check the recording after. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We really hope that the section has helped you better understand the engineering improvements that we have made and how you can request engineering and all your questions. I believe that we could cover today, and I big thank you to you, Tiago, to today's demonstration that and for your time that you spent here with us to bring your knowledge about engineering. So yeah, I believe that's this. Thanks all, and thanks Tiago again. And we will see you soon in the next week. Okay, so every Wednesday at 8 a.m. at the light time, we are doing these live streams. So as I said, and Thiago said, to shorten the distance between our team and you. So thanks all. Have a great day, and don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. Okay. So bye bye, Thiago.
Good.
Thanks. See ya.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.